So tell me how I got one of the most hyped up fragrances out right now for 30% off, and not from a discounter, actually from YSL's website. When I first smelled Babycat, I immediately got all the hype. Come back and I'll tell you how I got this one for so cheap and why I think it's worth it for your collection. But you know what you gotta do? Come back. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video, Smell Good with Jenna. I'm, of course, Jenna. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're into fragrance reviews, layering combos, and just smelling like you got your life put together, then you know what you got to do. Stay blessed, like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get right into it. So happy holidays, everyone. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. You got to spend time with loved ones, eat, give back, whatever that makes the holiday special. Hope that was the case for everyone. As you can see, I got my Christmas decorations up already. I typically have my Christmas tree here where I'm recording, so we'll see how it goes the next couple of weeks. If I decide to continue to record here and I just have the Christmas tree in the background, or just temporarily record where I used to. We'll see, but we're talking about YSL Babycat. You're wondering, Jenna, how you got that for 30% off? Which, yes, that's impressive, but at the same time, now YSL's Babycat is readily accessible, right? You can find it at Sephora, you can find it at Bloomingdale's. So, and typically they run sales, right? So it's not all that impressive, but I think it is impressive just because this is part of their private line. And I was originally going to get this from Fragrance Nevea, my go-to, for $2.90, but something told me go with YSL's website just because they offer a welcome offer of 15% and then you get samples. So I just figured, you know, let me, especially the samples that they were originally offering me were from their private line. So I was like, oh, okay, this gives me an opportunity to smell those fragrances that you typically weren't able to. So I realized once I got my order, the samples didn't come with it. So I wound up contacting YSL's website, or customer service rather, and they were super nice, professional and everything. And I mentioned, you know, I didn't get the samples, so they tried to see what they can do. And then the result was, can we just give you 15% back? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Who's gonna turn down extra money or money back in their pockets? So instead of spending like, what, $330, I think that's the retail price, and then $300 after the original 15% off, I wound up getting this baby for $250, maybe even a little bit under $250. So that's definitely a steal in my opinion. And as I've mentioned in numerous videos, I've been collecting or interested in a lot more complex type of vanillas, whether they're smoky, spicy vanillas. That's just has been my zhuzh. Last year I decided to buy vanilla diorama. I vowed this year I'd do the same with Babycat, and that fits right up my alley, or what I'm looking for. Something smoky, suede, and obviously vanilla. I'm like, yeah, I get the hype with this one. Okay, so let's jump into some of the notes. We have bourbon, vanilla, suede, black pepper, and incense. If you haven't smelled Babycat, this one's incredible. I'm not trying to gas it and hype it up, but it really is incredible. You get that spice from the black pepper, but what you really get is a smoky vanilla wrapped in suede. The smokiness of the fragrance, or from the incense rather, it's not overpowering, but that presence is definitely there. And the vanilla, surprisingly, is very creamy in my opinion, and very sweet, but not super sweet in the sense that it's sickly or cloying or anything like that. Not a gourmand type of vanilla, but that presence is there of it being vanilla. And then you just get that suede in there. It just reminds me of black leather, dark clothes, just that you're just edgy and you want something complex and not that typical sugary vanilla stuff that we keep getting on the market. I noticed a lot of people, right before I purchased this, I was seeing a lot of people compare this to Tom Ford's All Day Ombre leather and also Rosendo Mateu No. 5. And I actually have those two as well. And just briefly, maybe I'll do another video, but I think you can get away having all three. I think I can see the resemblance, but I don't think it's redundant, right? Where, you know, with the All Day Ombre leather, it's what stands out the most is the leather in there. And then where Rosendo Mateu No. 5, I haven't still, I haven't actually wore it, but from when I wore my sample, I felt it was more ambery than how this one is vanillic and the suede in there. So if you're someone that's thinking about getting Babycat, but you're on the fence because of it might be similar to those two fragrances, I think you'll be perfectly fine getting this one. In regards to who's this for, I think this is perfectly unisex, like straight down the middle. This is for the guy that wants to just be I don't want to curse. Even though those that might feel ASS is not necessarily a curse, but I'm just trying to clean up my language. But you just, you're a bad boy or you're a bad girl that just want to show your edge. This is something that you're wearing definitely in the fall or winter. I would probably lean more towards the fall than winter, just because I don't find it to be a very deep fragrance. But at this point, especially when you get into the cooler parts of the fall, going into the winter, fragrances at this point is interchangeable. So it's really whatever. But definitely you're wearing this on colder days, colder nights. You're wearing this to a date, to an event, anywhere that you have to be out specifically at night and make an impression. You're throwing this one on, and it smells absolutely incredible on a man and for sure on a woman. Like I said, perfectly unisex. The performance on this one actually surprised me. I'm not gonna even hold you guys. When I sprayed this on me, I'm like, wow, I smell this on me all day. Like I say in my videos, I start my day probably around, like, officially out the door 8 o'clock, and then probably 5, 6 o'clock, or whatever the case might be in regards to the end of my day. I sprayed this, I smelled this on for a good portion of the day. I don't want to say by the time I got home, but definitely late afternoon, I was still smelling this one on me. So it definitely is something that you're going to smell. And I can only imagine as the juices sweeten and get darker, it's probably going to project even crazy. So it definitely leaves that little trail. It's not a beach trail, but it's something that people are going to smell you as you walk by. And listen, we always complain about prices, and I personally will never, if I don't want to say never, because there are fragrances that unfortunately I do have to pay retail for, such as Louis Vuitton. But if you can get obviously a fragrance discounted, do it, because I don't think any fragrance is worth spending a grip on. But I gotta admit, YSL, and I'm not even really a fan of YSL fragrances to begin with. That's another thing. So for this and the price, I can see the justification somewhat. Again, I'm not saying pay $330 plus tax, but I can see essentially what I'm trying to say, that the quality is there and definitely worth your money. Okay, let's jump into the layering combos. Heads up, I know in the next couple of weeks with other fragrances that I'll be wearing and reviewing, I actually did layer Babycat with. So we're going to have never-ending combos for Babycat, but these are the ones I tested out originally when I was testing out this fragrance. So as always, we start off with an unscented soap, and then I use from Bath & Body Works their Vanilla Noir body wash from the men's collection, just because, as I've mentioned, I've been collecting more complex vanillas, and I didn't want to use something that I felt was just too sweet, like something like warm vanilla sugar or what have you. So I decided to use this to start off my combo. And then when I got out the shower, I used from Arena Fragrances their Sensual Suede body lotion and their body oil. I actually got this one by mistake. I don't need all this oil, but that's neither here nor there. But I've been seeing Arena Fragrances all over social media, and this is the only company that I've seen so far. Pretty expensive, I'm not gonna even hold you, but this is the only company that I've seen so far that has been able to get an inspired body lotion and body oil of Babycat, so I decided to get that. So as I said, the body lotion and then the body oil, and then we use Babycat, and I don't know if that helped in regards to the projection, but I don't think so, because I really smelled it on my clothes. So, all in all, it just helped project. Of course, it just helped project in general, but I think this still did its thing on its own. Then the next time I wore this, I decided to do the same combo, but this time add Kayali's Vanilla 28, and it just gave that a little bit more sweetness, that brown sugar and Vanilla 28. And as they always say, this is the perfect layering. Vanilla is the truth. You can pair this literally with any type of fragrance, honestly, and it's just gonna give us this just extra sugariness. It's not even a word, but it's just gonna just give it that extra oomph, that extra sweetness that you feel may be lacking in the fragrance. And I think this was a good contrast of sweet. Is there booze in Vanilla 28? I can't recall, but that sweetness in Vanilla 28, and then you just have, again, that smoky, resinous vanilla pairs beautifully together. Loved it. And then lastly, I decided to pair with Babycat. This time, instead of using Vanilla Noir, I decided to use from Bath & Body Works their Bonfire Bash body wash, and then I used this is discontinued, by the way, and I don't know why they don't bring this one back, because I would definitely get a new batch, even though it's still actually fairly good, because I know a lot of people complain about Bath & Body Works creams going bad. This one is still actually very good, but I don't even know why they haven't brought this one back. Anywho, I used their body cream for that. Then again, I used the Sensual Suede body oil from Arena Fragrances. And then lastly, I paired it with By the Fireplace from Maison Margiela. And as you can tell what the vibe was, we were just amplifying more so that smokiness of the vanilla in both the fragrances. That's why we use, honestly, I think Bonfire Bash, maybe not an exact dupe of By the Fireplace, but if you wanted something that's comparable and on the cheap side, you would have gotten that. So obviously that was the vibe, just amplifying that smokiness of both fragrances. And now to the part, if I recommend this fragrance, absolutely. This is incredible. There's no excuse now. You don't have to blind buy it. You can go to Sephora and Bloomingdale's and smell this one. This is sexy, smoky, resinous. Who doesn't love vanilla? If you're someone who's into, I don't want to say just a woman, but let's just say if you're a person that really enjoys sweet fragrances, you may not dig this, but if you're looking for something different and complex, a word that I keep using, this is definitely right up that alley. This might not be overhyped, and fragrance snobs be like, oh, now everybody has it. It is what it is, right? Now that it's more accessible, again, it's no excuse for one not to try it. And I would definitely recommend getting my nose on it. So that is my video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have YSL Babycat. And also let me know if you actually have the OG packaging. A lot of people say that nothing has changed. It's just obviously the packaging is different. But who knows, if you're familiar with the OG and this one, let me know if it smells the same. Stay blessed, like, comment, and subscribe. And always remember, the best compliment one can get is that you smell so good.